better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
That's right. Most monsters come at night, but some of us come during the day. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. I want to talk about Kayvon Thibodeaux. I want to talk about Evan Neal. I want to talk about the likelihood that they are going to become cornerstones for this team for years to come. Because we all know that every time you draft someone in the first round, every time you draft someone in the top 10, they always become perennial All-Pros and Pro Bowlers and Hall of Famers. We know this. We know this for a fact. No one can predict the future, not even myself. But I like to talk about things honestly. I like to talk about things from an assessment level. I like to talk about things without the Giant fan hat on. And I'm not saying that neither of these players are going to be awesome before I get to hate. I'm not going to say that either of these players are not going to have a long, successful career with the Giants. I'm not saying any with that because they haven't even stepped into the field or onto the field. And we haven't even got into rookie minicamp, which happens this Friday. But I want to talk about the likelihood of things. I see a lot of things about Kayvon Thibodeaux, about how O.C. Manura thinks he reminds him of himself, that he's going to be this stalwart to the Giants defense. And he has the physical abilities, it looks like. He looks like he has the skills. He can play the run. He can rush the passer. He can do all the little things. There was never a question about his motor in college until after he came into the draft. I'm never even sure where those rumors even came from, if they were just some speculation that some people were trying to throw out there. They're trying to maybe have him fall down into the draft. We don't know. But Kayvon's going to be on a line right now that's going to see the likes of Dexter Lawrence. He's going to have the likes of Leonard Williams. Some ways you're going to have Quincy Roche on there. You're going to have our old buddy Zio Jalari. He's going to probably be alternating between stand-up linebacker and defensive end. The same thing. I think that's what's going to happen with Kayvon Thibodeaux. But there is a difference between, I want to explain this. There is a difference between a really good player and a cornerstone player. Lawrence Taylor was a cornerstone player. You have to 100%. Harry Carson was a cornerstone player. Michael Strahan was a cornerstone player. Sam Huff. We could go down the line of Giant greats. They were a cornerstone to the defense, and they were a cornerstone for years to come. And I'm not saying taking anything away from O.C. Manura. O.C. Manura had 85 tackles, 85 tackles. No, he had 435 tackles, 85 sacks, interceptions, 35 forced fumbles. He was the king of forced fumbles and 4 touchdowns. He was, of course, a 2-time Pro Bowler, 1-time first-team All-Pro, 2-time Super Bowl guy. And he was a guy that, if you looked at his totality of his career, though, his majority of his sacks came in 2 seasons. Or I should say, rephrase that, came in 3 seasons. And that's what we need to look at. You looked at the fact that he had most of his sacks. He had 11 and a half in 2010, 14 in 2005, and he had 13 in 2007. And then the rest of the years, he had 1, 7, 6, 7, 9, 6, 7.5, 2, and well, no, I'm sorry. He had 6, 9. And he was a guy that, if you go back to the Annals of Giants history, was never truly happy at times being a Giant because of contractual obligations. He never got the money. He never got the due that he thought he deserved from the Giants. He never did. And that's one of the things we need to look at. Was he a cornerstone, or was he a product? Because he also was on a line with Michael Strahan and Justin Tuck. I would never call O.C. Manura a cornerstone piece. I would say that he deserves being in the Giants' Ring of Honor, that he was beyond a good player, that he was a Pro Bowler and probably should have made the Pro Bowl a couple more times. And if Kayvon Thibodeaux came out to be an O.C. Manura, wouldn't have a problem with that. Would not have a problem with that. I would call that a successful career. Same thing with Justin Tuck. Justin Tuck was a Pro Bowler twice. Should rephrase that. Was an All-Pro once, or All-Pro one time. 66 career tackles. 510 career tackles, 66.5 sacks, 22 forced fumbles. He was another guy that was helping with the fumble machine. And again, would I call him a cornerstone for the Giants defense? Again, he played on a line, and it's not his fault. He played on a line that had, again, O.C. Manura, Michael Strahan, and a host of others. Once again, was he a all-time Giant? I think so. Does he deserve to be in the Ring of Honor? 100%. Was he a great Giant? Yes, but was he a cornerstone piece? Do you put him in the anacles of Harry Carson, Lawrence Taylor, Sam Huff? Do you put him in that anacles? No, you can't. And that's the thing. And again, but once again, if Kayvon Thibodeaux has a Justin Tuck career, it's highly successful. I think it's highly successful, and we knocked it out of the park with the Giants in reference to that pick. Now, if he turns out to be a Michael Strahan, to me, like I said, Michael Strahan was a cornerstone piece of the defense. Without Michael Strahan, the defense does not win in 2007. Just like without Eli Manning, the Giants do not win in 2011. But the Giants defense, of course, has a lot to offer with that. But if Eli does not make that throw to Manningham and a couple others, we don't win that game. But again, it was also the pressure from the Giants defense. I'm not taking anything away from that. But Strahan is a cornerstone. Strahan is a guy that if you talk about the Giants and Giants lore and Giants history, he is one of the first players in the modern day era that you're going to talk about, that you are going to mention. And I hope that he turns into a cornerstone piece. Kayvon Thibodeaux, that is. I hope that. I have to keep my fingers crossed about that, because I really think that he is a guy that can help mold this team. He can help mold the ability of this team to turn around and make themselves something special. And I think that is what we need to look at. But we don't want to put that added pressure on this kid now, because you know what? He hasn't even stepped onto the field yet. Let's let him get on the field. Let's let him get his first practice and let's get his first snap in preseason. Let's turn around and allow him to get that first regular season snap, that first regular season sack. I know everyone wants to be excited about these first round picks, but all first round picks don't pan out. We know this. We've seen it. But is he going to be that functional cornerstone piece for the next 10 years? I don't know that. And I only bring this topic up because I see a lot of things on the Twitter sphere. How this kid's going to be better than OC Manura and Justin Tuck combined, that he's going to be better than Michael Strahan, that he's going to be better, he's going to have a better pass rush than Lawrence Taylor, and the kid hasn't even taken a snap yet. It's good to be excited, but it's also good to be realistic. I don't know if he can be a cornerstone piece yet, because I don't know how this team is going to play over the next 5 years. Nobody does. But does he have the ability to be an OC Manura? 100%. Does he have the drive to be a Justin Tuck? I think so. Will it materialize? I don't know. But I feel he has all the pieces in place to be something special. Now, Evan Neal is a little bit different of a story. And I'm not saying, once again, that Evan Neal is not talented. I'm not saying that he's not going to be the best right tackle the Giants have had for years. I'm not going to say any of that, because I do not know yet. But I am going to say this about him. I think he has potentially some of the best talent I have seen from a right tackle coming out of the draft in a long time. I think he's got the heart. I think he's got the desire. I think he's got the technique. I think he's got to work a little bit more on some of his foot speed, because I think he's a little slow laterally. And I think a lot of scouts say that as well. But I think he has all the intangibles to be something special on the right side. But my problem with Evan Neal is this. I get the Orlando Brown Jr. feel. Orlando Brown Jr., of course, was drafted later in the draft by the Baltimore Ravens. He turned around and was placed in, he was a left tackle, playing right tackle. The Ravens, and he always wanted to be a left tackle, because left tackle is where the money is. Then the Ravens' left tackle gets hurt. He fills in more than admirably. And then he tells the team, I don't want to be a right tackle anymore. I want to be a left tackle, because that's where you're going to make your money. And you have to be concerned about that, because you are still hoping, and it looks like the upward pendulum is going towards that for Andrew Thomas, that he could be the left tackle solution for years to come, going into year 3. This will be his big year. So the question is this: how content will Evan Neal be playing right tackle in this league? Because let's say he is a stellar right tackle, he's never going to get left tackle money. Never. And there's a potential other cornerstone or really good player sitting on the left side of the line, potentially blocking his progress into big money. And I think that's something to keep an eye on. This is one of the reasons why I did not want an offensive lineman that we shall not speak of. Because Charles Cross, I'll say it, because Charles Cross' skill set lent totally to be a left tackle. Totally did. You would have to, the Giants didn't go across because they understood the fact that they would have to move Andrew Thomas to right tackle. And you've already had this kid there for 2 years, so you're not going to move him for Charles Cross. You're not going to do that. You're not going to reach a little bit for Charles Cross and then move the guy you took higher and has been playing the position for 2 years and is starting to play it well, and then shift him to the right side. So they went with what I refer to as, like I said, in my mind, Evan Neal was probably the best pass blocking and run defense. I can't even talk today. He was the best tackle option in the draft for the Giants. So the question is also going to be, is he going to have the talent to fulfill being a cornerstone piece, but is he going to be complacent being in the right tackle position? My fear is this, that let's just say Andrew Thomas gets hurt. Not this year, maybe it's a couple of years down the road. Then Evan Neal does an Orlando Brown Jr. and fills in admirably. Then he wants left tackle money. What did the Baltimore Ravens have to do? They had to trade the kid. Now, like I said, these are all situations down the road. These aren't things. I think both of them are going to be more than extremely talented. I think both of them are going to be special for this team. I don't know if you. I don't know if going. I have to go way back. I don't know if Evan Neal's going to be a Steve Owen or a Rosie Brown. I don't know if he's going to be one of the legendary, because again, like I said, if you look at legendary offensive linemen on this team, I think of the old timers. I think of Rosie Brown. I think of Steve Owens. I think of Mel Hein. These are the guys that I think of. Pro Football Hall of Famers. Could he be? And I know Bart Oates did not play tackle, but I'm just using other linemen as comparison. Could he be a Bart Oates who was a staple for this team? Could he be that? Who helps? Of course, Bart helps the Giants win 86 and 90. Could he be a Chris Snead? And again, I know he's not a tackle. I knew he was a right guard, but I'm just saying, could he be a David Deal? Could he be a Sean O'Hara? And of course, these are also guys that weren't drafted by the Giants. But could he be more than above average to a good to almost great offensive lineman? I think he can 100%. But only time will tell if any of these guys will be a cornerstone. I always love it because I think of Keith Jackson. Oh, it's Keith Jackson here. College football announcers. Oh, we got a fumble, Rooney. And I used to love it because he used to refer to the offensive linemen as the big uglies. Could Evan Neal be a big ugly? Yeah, I think he can. But like I said, let's let them get on the field. Let's let them take a snap. Let's let them get their feet wet before people start branding them with unrealistic expectations for guys that haven't even played yet. And again, this is a 312-1 podcast is coming out on Thursday. Be out Thursday afternoon. We might do a stream coming up in the next couple of days. I haven't decided yet. Dahmer will be back on Wednesday of next week. So we're going to have we're not going to do a Tuesday stream. We're going to do a Wednesday at 4 p.m. stream. And again, this is Tim with the Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could if you subscribe, if you ring that bell, you're going to mean that.